Master Your Destiny on 99 FM.
Welcome to the MYD studio, Pedro. We are delighted to have you in studio with us.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
And we're so delighted and we're so glad we invited you because an expert in dealing with conflict resolution, working with alternative to violence. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Pedro Kapirika and I'm a conflict manager at AVP, Alternative to Violence Project. So we are an NGO that try to educate other people how to find ways on how they can resolve conflict in a non-violent way. So I do facilitating and I do work also for a mining company whereby I also share a little bit of my skills with my colleagues.
It's amazing because it's something that's so necessary, conflict resolution and an alternative to violence. Because very often we wait until we're in a state of absolute conflict before we seek for help. But there are steps and ways that we can address our anger before it gets to that stage, correct?
That's correct. The thing is that also we have to look at sometimes people, they are actually afraid of approaching that feeling immediately, saying that, okay, I feel angry right now, let me find a way on how I can approach it. They rather say, okay, you know what, let it go and it will blow by. But it's not blowing away because they have not expressed it out. They have not said what is actually making you angry. And the thing is that also we look at the iMessage, whereby the iMessage helps you to express the feeling, and then it's also requesting the next person that who has made you angry to know the action that they did made you angry.
Is this necessary? Do we have to express our anger?
It is necessary because at the end of the day, you might drown in your own anger and you might end up hurting yourself or the next person. So the good thing is that when you bring out the anger, when you express it out in a healthy way, the next person will know that, okay, next time, let's say, for example, I've taken your cell phone without your permission and I go through your cell phone without your permission, obviously you will get angry, right? But if you keep quiet about it, and I'll still continue until one day that you will just explode, and then it will be a lot of stuff at the end of the day, and then you start blaming me, and then I'll also get angry and I'll become defensive, then obviously it will lead us to a conflict, which is maybe might also end up to violence. So it's always the best option is to express and find a platform of where and how are you going to express this situation.
Yeah, in a way that is safe.
Yeah.
What about people who say, I am never angry?
That I've come across a lot. That's not true because we are all human beings and we have emotions. Obviously, you will get angry even though you don't react that fast because we totally are different human beings. The same way as they say some people catches flu very quickly and some not. It depends on our immune system, but we do get angry at a certain stage. But the thing is that we should never entertain something that is wrong and you feel that you're getting angry because for them, they usually find it like they ignore the feeling. By ignoring it is by saying that I never get angry. But the more you push them, obviously you will see immediately from their body language they become withdrawn from the next person. They would not want to continue with the same dialogue anymore. That is one sign of seeing that they are getting angry. But no, I totally disagree with that. It's just that there is a different steps for some people, the way that they get angry, but all of us, we do get angry. It all happens to us.
Master Your Destiny on 99 FM.
Welcome to the MYD studios. We are so delighted to have you back in studio, Edwina.
Thank you. It's also a pleasure to be here.
We've been inspired by your wisdom so many times before, and right now we're going to be talking about anger, because anger is something that affects every single one of us, and if undealt with can become a huge problem.
Very dangerous.
Yes, absolutely. And we see that in terms of the headlines of newspapers so often where violence has broken out and it stemmed from an angry issue that it just spiraled out of control to a point where people lose their lives, etc.
And it seems so unnecessary then. One wonders what you could have done to prevent it.
Absolutely. And as we heard last night in Pedro's case, there are so many people who've dealt with so much hardship and have so much anger inside of them because of the hurt that they've faced. So it's a common problem. It's a global problem that we need to address.
So basically what you're saying is the abuse becoming the abuser.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So let's start off with anger. Where does anger come from?
It's quite a natural emotion. It's an emotional state that can vary from mild irritation. We all have been irritable in our lives, one or other stage, and it can progress to the degree of intense fury and rage. So anger is often portrayed because of the risk and the dangers as a negative emotion, but it's quite normal. It has a function within our system to protect us against threats that comes our way externally. So when this happens to us, biological, mental, physical changes happens, like your energy levels, your mood changes, your adrenaline kicks in, and it also makes your emotional mental state to go haywire. You lose control, and you become irrational in your thinking, therefore in your behavior, which is the response to this emotional state.
Okay. I've heard even that when you're angry, your IQ drops because you can't think in a rational state. You're so overrun with emotion.
Yes, that's what I said. So cognitively, you're not in charge. You lose yourself, and you might actually act out of character. And we've often heard that people say, I can't recall, or I was blinded by this emotional state, and later on they only realize the consequences of losing control and letting this emotion take charge over them as a human being.
Yeah, absolutely. Such incredible wisdom, and you've raised such important points right now, from how we value ourselves, where we put our values in society, how we are leading to the problem, how this problem is infiltrating into so many different sectors by not addressing it, and how we can also take back the control and take authority for our life and start to ask for what it is that we want in our life, so we don't have to go and take it from somebody because we feel we're entitled to. What about though where you've worked on your own anger and you've made great strides on your own anger, but you perhaps are married to somebody who's angry, or you're in an office with an angry person. How do you deal with angry people in your environment?
Diplomacy. If we look at our world leaders, if they can lose their cool in negotiations, we would have World War III once again. So it's all about diplomacy and compromise. Usually when you're the one identifying that your partner has an anger problem, you're the stronger one. So you need to, instead of accusing and pointing fingers, lovingly, patiently guide that person into becoming more healthy. It's like your partner is a weight problem, and you would not continuously remind the partner you fat and you eat too much. You would try and say, let's ride a bicycle together, or let's go and take a walk, or let's try together and eat more healthy, for example. So with any other physical, mental problem, we need to take the same positive approach. But I want to warn Christy, we have this thing in psychology we call transference, that sometimes you project your own insecurities and your own emotions onto the next person. So sometimes when people accuse the next person of anger issues, they might have it themselves. They might identify it with themselves. I say it's usually the big one that identify the smaller one. And if it awakes like a negative feeling in you, then you must do introspection to see where it's coming from. Is it something that you struggle yourself with? So timing, when do we address issues, plays a role. Sometimes we also need to look, our outlook needs to be positive, and not only look at the things that infuriates us and stress us and angers us, because that would even increase the anger levels more.
Yeah, and to help put us onto the path of peace.
Yes.
Internal and exterior peace.
Most definitely.
It's been so insightful, Edwina. You've given us so much food for thought. Thank you so much for coming to share with us on ways that we can look at our own anger, address it safely, and find a place of peace within. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us in closing?
Yes. Life will be always filled with problems, frustration, pain. Every human being experiences pain and loss. Various forms of loss, not only loss of a loved one to death. And the unpredictable actions of others. We can't control our environment, and that includes the people in our lives. And we need to know that we can't change it. But we can change the way we let any event in our life affects us. And we can control our angry responses and keep them from making us even more unhappy, miserable, and unhealthy in the long run.
Exactly, and so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your words with us and for inspiring us on ways that we can move to a place that we can be happy within ourselves and create more happiness all around us.
Thank you, Christy.
Edwina.
Master your destiny on 99 FM.